Hello YouTube, my name's Corey. This is my channel. Today we're working on a 2010 Dodge Avenger. It's my personal vehicle. We're going to do some spark plug changes to it. It's never been done before. It's got 154,000 miles on it. It's very simple. Well, we'll just go ahead and get started. So what you need for this job is these tools right here. You got a small flathead screwdriver. You got a 3/8 ratchet with a 5/8 spark plug socket with a built-in extension, and then we have, I'm not sure, this is a star socket, but I'm not sure what size it is because it got rubbed off. And then we have a 1/4 inch ratchet. I've got my dielectric connector grease, and I have 4 spark plugs got from O'Reilly's parts house there. First thing you're going to do, you notice that it's covered. So all this does is this pops off. It's just an engine cover. You just pop it off. I already popped it off a little bit, but these little suction cups there is what holds this on. And there. Here is where your spark plugs are. They're actually down inside the engine. This is the intake manifold. This is where your spark plug goes. So what you got to do is, I've got these connectors popped off already, but all you do here, I'll just go ahead and reconnect it. So it's kind of hard to do this with one hand, but you just get this flathead screwdriver and you put up under there, and I don't know how well you can see that, but it lifts the little tab up in the middle. Yep, there you go, you can see it. And then you just wiggle it off, and there goes that. Okay, I can reach it. Come here, you. It's got a magnet. Okay. Great. All right. So once you get these off, then you just loosen these with the star bit, and then you just loosen them up. They're finger tight. So, and then once you get it out, you just pull the boot out just like that. Now that's what that's one part. Now sometimes if you have a misfire, this can be the culprit. But the least expensive portion would be the spark plugs. So we're just going to take all of these out. All right. That's number 2, and I kind of like to keep these in order. The screws really don't mind. I really don't mind the screws, but definitely these you want to keep in order. Okay. That way, if one of them turns out to be bad, you don't want to go mixing them up and chasing them around. Okay, last one. And then what we're going to do is we're going to stick the spark plug socket down there, and we're going to go down number 1 here. If you didn't know, number 1 is to the front of the engine. You see the pulley there, so that's number 1. And there's 4 obviously. So we're just going to take this, and I just slid it down there until it grabbed onto something, and it's just coming out now. It's pretty straightforward. And I'm just spinning. I got it broken loose, so it's just spinning. And just spin it out once I break it loose. So I'm going to go ahead and break these loose, and then I'll just go take the ratchet off the socket here, and then just use the socket to spin them out. Okay. Alright, so I'm just spinning these out. There it is. This one doesn't look camera focus. There we go. That one don't look too bad. Come on. Wish it could okay, so you can see this is kind of what you want to look at right here. It's really not wanting to focus well. but it's kind of almost look like charred or soot. You don't want it black, like oily looking. So there's number one, and we'll go through all of these and we'll see if there's any differences there. Okay, so there's that one. That one looks good. And even though they look good, we're just gonna, it's been 150,000 miles, so we're just going to swap these out because there might be something that we can't see on the surface. That I've been having a cranking issue, so it might be that. So this is the cheapest. There's the last one. Alright, oh, there it goes, it focused. Sweet. Alright, so that's that's essentially, it kind of looks a little bit more burnt on the end and then kind of gray ashy going down there. And that's a pretty good look to a spark plug. These guys look pretty good for 150,000 miles. And the way that you can tell a spark plug socket is that it's kind of got a little sleeve in the middle of it. It's not like a regular socket, and that helps hold on to the spark plug when you get it all the way out. So all we're going to do, okay, so we'll do a comparison here. So we got it 1 through 4. All right, and you can see that one's pretty good. All of them have this little burn mark where it likes to spark at. So you can see a little darker area there, where the other is brown. Okay, but that's that. So I got these AC Delco Platinum spark plugs I got from O'Reilly's. Bear with me. Okay, let's see if I can set the phone up. Nah, forget it. So, big thing is you don't want to really drop these. You want to handle them with kind of kid gloves. But easiest way, and what I like to do is we're going to take this dielectric connector grease, and we're going to put on the tip right here just a little bit. You don't need very much. And these are pre-gapped, so you can actually see the gap. The gap on this is a little closer than the gap on some of these. So that the bigger the gap, the harder it is for the spark plug to spark, because it's got a greater distance to jump. And it's going to find the easiest path for electricity to flow to arc. Well, it'd be nice if I can get this pack open. Okay. Okay, so I got it. I have it open, so I'm just going to take a little bit. All right, come on out. There we go, right there. All right, just put a little bit. You don't want to do too much, you can gum it up, but just a little bit, kind of, because this helps conduct electricity. So we're going to do that to all 4. Sorry, what you can't see off camera is I'm getting this out of the pack. So again, all right, just a little bit. Don't want to gob it on there. All right. And then you're just going to, once you get these all lubed up, you're going to do everything in reverse order. You don't have to do 4, 3, 2, 1, but you're going to put the spark plugs in, and then you're going to put the the boots on there, which is what those pieces that were screwed down are called. And then you're going to put the connectors on there and the screws back on there, and then you put the cover back on and pray that it works. Not really. If you did it right, it'll start up no problem. So, alright. And one public service announcement is, do not ever start a spark plug or any other thing you got to screw in with a drill or impact. You always want to hand start it. See, I set these down into the spark plug socket, and I just drop it down in there. And I always like to go left a little bit, counterclockwise, you know, lefty loosey, righty tighty, and then that makes sure I don't cross thread anything. So I'm just, you know, all right, went left counterclockwise, and then I'm just going to hand tighten all these down first. Alright, there's number 4. Number 3. So if you guys like this video, I'm going to try to start doing some other videos. I also have a 2014 Chrysler Town & Country. We'll do basic maintenance stuff, like oil changes, maybe some brake work. The oil filters can be a little intimidating on the Town & Country because it's not like your normal metal hard cased oil filter on the bottom of your engine. It's a little insert, and it's on the top of the engine. And I actually had an issue with that car where we were losing oil, didn't know where it was, and the little oil pump that the filter screws down into cracked, and they're known for that. And then everything from where it's placed at, all of the oil seeped out of that and into the valley of the engine, which is underneath this manifold here, if you were looking at that engine. So yeah, this car is a lot easier. There's more room in this vehicle, and to work on things, which isn't really saying much because everything's still crammed in here. But okay, so I've got all the spark plugs in there hand tight. You don't want to really crank on these too much because you could break the porcelain, which is that white portion. Okay, so I met some resistance there. I'm not going to crank on it. I'm just holding the top of the ratchet so I don't torque down too much. I could really get it to go if I crank down here, but that would most certainly strip threads or break the spark plug itself, and we definitely don't want that because that's a whole nother issue and video. Alright, so got that. Alright, so now the boots. Here's number 4. There's number 4, 3, 2, and 1. So they just slide down on there, put the dielectric grease on there, and it just sits down in there like that, and that's going to help it spark, which is what you want. You don't want to have the spark plug hunting for a place to ground out and spark, so that would not be good. Oh, I took number 1 and put it in number 2. Let's put that where it should go. All right, here we go. See, not paying attention can you know, do things that you would normally do. All right, so there's that. All right, and we're just putting the screws back down in here. I guess they're called bolts because they don't have a tip on them, a sharp tip. All right. And again, this is a plastic manifold, so you really don't want to crank down real hard on this stuff because it will strip very easily. You just want to get this thing snug. That's it. And I'm going to go back with my small 1/4 inch ratchet with the star bit socket on there, and tighten these up. But again, I'm going to be careful not to crank down on it so I don't break anything or strip anything out. Alright, so I feel resistance right there. Again, I'm just holding the head of the ratchet so I don't, you know, torque down too hard on these things. And forgive me if the camera angle's bad. Sometimes I'm paying attention more to what I'm doing than the video, so. Alrighty, there's that. So these are pretty simple, these connectors. All they do is, you just slide it on till you hear it click. That's that little nipple right there catching the connector. And you could even put a little bit of dielectric grease on there, but I don't want to do that. And then, you just take the cover here and you put that back on to finish up the engine dress. But let's go ahead and crank this up. Okay. There we go. It cranked up just fine, perfectly, just the way I wanted it to. So, if you guys have any other questions, there it is running. If you have any other questions, please post in the comments. Show you my other vehicles real quick. I have my 2000, or not 2000, this is a 1999 Chevy Silverado with a 5.3 liter four-wheel drive. And this is my 2014 Town & Country. So we're going to do, I've got a brake issue on the truck. I won't be doing that because I don't have the tools and stuff like the bender, the brake line bender and the flaring tool to do that across the rear axle. But I've done quite a bit of work to that truck, and it's 230,000 miles. And my Chrysler Town & Country has 140 something thousand miles, and this Avenger's got 154,000 miles. So if you like it, subscribe, that'd be great. See you guys later. Thanks.